I was only a kid, 10 years old, and he says, Joe, I'm going to take you where the rabbits cure the mail. So we go way out in the country, and we stop in this field there with had corn stalks. So in the middle of this field, there was like a teepee made with its corn stalks. And so we're walking out there, and I see a man sitting on a tin can with a shotgun. And I asked my uncle, "What's that?" He said, "Well, he's a guard. He's a watch guard." We go into the tunnel, and there's a still where they make white lightning.
A young cowboy named Billy Joe grew restless on the farm. A boy filled with wanderlust who really meant no harm. He changed his clothes and shined his boots and combed his dark hair down. And his mother cried as he walked out, "Don't take your guns to town, son. Leave your guns at home, Bill. Don't take your guns to town." He laughed and kissed his mom and said, "You're Billy Joe's a man. I can shoot as quick and straight as anybody can. But I wouldn't shoot without a cause, I'd gun nobody down." But she cried again as he rode away, "Don't take your guns to town, son. Leave your guns at home, Bill. Don't take your guns to town."
Well, Joe is probably the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
Joe was a really friendly man and easy to get along with. I could tell that right away.
Joe's a really good guy. I like Joe.
He's friendly, he's more than accommodating.
Oh, he's the most loving, caring person you'd ever want to meet. He's the sweetest guy. He's encouraging, he's positive. Even when he's not feeling good, he's positive.
All around, I would say he's Mr. Personality for the club.
I think the fact that he was able to organize a club like this says a lot for him.
As a kid, I was from a very large family, and we couldn't afford toys. And my daughter asked me one Christmas, "What would you like for Christmas?" And I says, "I'd never had a train," not even dreaming what they were going to do. Larry and Sherry went and bought this huge train set, and they give it to me for Christmas. And I says, "Now what do I do?" And Larry says, "We got to go to Home Depot and get some wood." So we went there and got 1-bys and whatever we had to have, plywood, and we put this layout together in my garage. And it just kept going from that on to, I joined the club, and they didn't exist, so finally Larry says, "Why don't you have your own club?" And I says, "That's not a bad idea, but how do I get started?" So he helped me. He made flyers that I could take to the hobby stores and get people interested in coming into the club.
After all those years, we've created this space with the floor that wasn't even nailed to the walls. The stringers that hold up the floor weren't screwed to the walls. The walls, in a lot of instances, didn't even exist. And it's turned into a pretty neat little space.
The earliest memory is just coming up here. It was still in a stage of construction, but still it overwhelmed me. Boy, I didn't think it would be this big.
The girls were all going to a wedding, and that's how I met him. He was sitting at the kitchen table.
And you went up to him?
We were all together. We went over there and they introduced me. We found an attraction to each other, and as he was coming up for school, I would be over there. it got to be a little bit more.
Seeing him more often.
Yeah. One time we went to Van de Kem's, and that was where you could drive in, and all of a sudden, Papa reached in his sock, wore a Navy uniform all the time, and he reached in his sock, and he had my ring, and
He proposed to you?
yeah,
What did he say?
in the parking lot of Van de Kem's. Well, he just gave me the ring. Will you marry me? For sure. And I don't think Papa was really happy about it.
Your dad.
Yeah,
Why is that?
because he wasn't Jewish.
Yeah.
He got out of the Navy just before New Year's, and we got married February 16th,
What year?
1957.
The dropping of the underwater bomb was the big deal for me. I got one ranking out of it because I was a torpedoman, and our job was to go around from each buoy that was set up with Geiger counters to see. This bomb was 5 miles deep in the ocean, and it went in the air. I don't know how high, but from our ship we were about 10 miles from point where they dropped the bomb.
What was the operation called?
Operation Wigwam.
Could we kill a modern submarine with an underwater A-bomb? In theory, yes. But what would be the fatal range? Could the attack crew get away? Approximately 500 miles west-southwest of San Diego.
What really was bad was we left Long Beach, and they would not tell us where we were going. They would not let us write home. They would not let us receive mail, but we were guinea pigs. They didn't even know what it would do. It could have disintegrated my ship. You know how bright a flashbulb camera is in your face?
Yeah.
That's how bright it was. And then it shook the ship for about 5 minutes. I mean, shook it where
Wow.
you can tell it. After I came back to the ship picking up buoys, they had a civilian doctor aboard, and he examined me. He says, "You have one ranking." And I says, "What does that mean?" He says, "We don't really know." They know what it is, but they don't know what it'll do.
Like, they're saying you had radiation.
Yeah. And so they scrubbed me down 3 times on the ship. So then the doctor that examined me says, "You're probably going to be sterile."
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say for sure, but he said, "Probably you're going to be sterile."
Mm-hmm.
So after this was completely done, my mother wrote me a letter and says, "How come the FBI is checking your background and our family and the whole bit?" I said, "I don't know." And then I found out through the ship that yes, they checked everybody on the ship. The FBI checked everyone.
Tell me about your tattoo.
My what?
Your tattoo. You're on your hand. 5 Point Gang.
Oh, my 5 points.
Can you show the camera?
Well, when us teenagers, we hang around a soda fountain called 5 Points. One time they had a state fair come to town, and they had a tattoo artist that was, it was against the law to tattoo in North Carolina. And we found out where he was at. I think it was 5 or 6 of us went over to get a tattoo. The guy he said, well, I got to put a guard outside to make sure if police show up, you guys got to get out of here. So I get it, and about a week later, it got infected. And my hand swelled up like a baseball glove. And my dad says, good for you for getting a damn tattoo.